Mr. Speaker.
Peter Perrone.
Tēnā koe, tēnā no tātou te whare. Aku rangatira, aku whanaunga karanga maha, o te tai toke rau. Ki nei tēnā pito ara ko muri whenua, engari I raro te kaupapa o te pire nei, te Hiku. Nā reira nau mai haramai. Kei te tuake, ki te tautoko ngā mihi ngea waku tuakana, ki te haka tau ia koutou ki te wharene. Kia kite atu ia koutou, te urunga mai, a tā koutou pire, I haka pā te karauna, I wana mahi, ki wā tātou mātua tūpuna. Nā reira nau mai haramai. Mr. Speaker, it is a pleasure to be able to stand in this House at this time as part of the introduction and the first reading of the Te Hiku Claims Settlement Bill. And in so doing, I recognize all the iwi of Te Hiku. Can I say that when I came into this world, I came at a time when we were, as children, reminded that there were 5 iwi of Te Tai Tokera. But it would seem to me that what we should have been told, that there are 5 iwi of Muri Whenua. And today, this bill recognizes that. And can I say that it is part of this whole claims process that the recognition of 5 iwi in Te Hiku, known to us as some of us as Muri Whenua, has come to fruition and is recognized by the Crown in this Act. In so doing, I stand with some sadness, because I'm old enough to remember some members of Muri Whenua who were responsible and who were recognized as leaders of their time. And as part of that leadership, we had the Te Aupōuri Māori Trust Board. And when I talk about the Te Aupōuri Māori Trust Board, I'm mindful of Jack King, Walter Tepania, Riki Etana, Manuera, tai atu kia George Wheatana, Haki Campbell, Rimai Edwards, Machuwiki. All who have passed on. All who are descendants of those who gave their lives in defense of this country. And it is appropriate that we have the grandson of a child of Muri Whenua who returned leading the Maori Battalion. And at this stage, I want to recognize the sole surviving member of A Company. Nā reira e harea, aha koa hore kau koe ke wāngunui ia tātou e tarane, e noho tonu koe ki te wā kai. Tēnei te mihi atu ki a koe, mua tō kaha. I make mention, Mr. Speaker, of Mr. Charlie Petra, the sole surviving member of the A Company of 28 Maori Battalion. And I see in the bill that there is reference to Te Rerenga Wairu. And we've heard today from various speakers of the significance of that area to Māori, where the spirits depart this world. I know that Mr. Petra would like to see the establishment or the erection of a memorial of the 28 Maori Battalion soldiers who gave their lives in defense of our country. And I'm hoping that as a consequence of this bill and the co-management, and not tino rangatiratanga as my tuakana said, but the co-management, that consideration and approval be given to that notion. Mr. Speaker, we've talked about leadership, and I have to acknowledge those who have been responsible for bringing this bill to this House at this time. I know from my experience that that has not been an easy and simple journey. And I can recall my father telling me when I was elected as chairman of that great iwi in the north, Ngāti Hine, when I became chairman of the Runanga, he said, "Boy, never forget to look behind you from time to time, because if there's no one behind you, then you've got to ask yourself who you're leading." But for those who have brought this bill to this House at this stage, whether or not you carry on the task of leading your people, that is something that your people will determine. But I acknowledge the endeavor, the sacrifice that you have made to bring this bill to this stage. Mr. Speaker, like all settlements, the feature of all these settlements is the lack of recognition by the Crown of iwi of the time and their entitlement to protection under the Treaty of Waitangi. This bill goes a long way to addressing a lot of the issues confronting the people of Te Hiku. And I'm mindful, Mr. Speaker, of Rima Edwards, who some years ago applied to the government to have the name of 90 Mile Beach renamed or revert back to its original name, Te Onero Atohe, and being declined. And yet throughout this bill, that has been recognized. And so I'm mindful of the work that Rima did in this area. I'm also a little bit saddened that my whanaunga, both Hone Harawira and Shane, aren't in the House to be able to talk to this bill. I know that without any doubt, both were very passionate about seeing this bill come to fruition. And while they would have been approached by those who do not support the bill in the way that it's been presented, at least they knew that they had representation in this House. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to go through the historical account, but the fact that it has been recognized, it's now within this bill, will go on record and provide for generations to come the efforts that their ancestors have made to rectify what has always been rightfully theirs. And at this time, I'm mindful of the Reverend Kingi Ihaka and the Waiata Toromaito Ringa, the extension of your hand. And without any doubt, the people of Te Hiku have done that to the Crown. They've extended that arm, knowing full well that this settlement will go nowhere near to fulfilling their entitlement. And I think like all other iwi who come to this House with seeking a settlement, they know that they are not able to get their full entitlement. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House, and New Zealand First will certainly be supporting it to the Maori Affairs Select Committee, and I hope that those who feel that they have not had their concerns heard, that they will take the opportunity of exercising their process of the Select Committee and bringing their concerns to the House. Nā reira e tātou mā, hoi nāno ngā kororo mō tēnei, tēnā koutou, kia ora mano tātou.
Mr. Speaker. Adrian Rurafei.
Tēnā koe